Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving deep in a topic that affects nearly 12% of people worldwide, specific phobia. I'm talking everything from the fear of spiders to the fear of flying, and I'll break down why these fears happen, how they keep us trapped, and most importantly, how we can overcome these fears. So stick around because if you have ever wondered why certain things can make you feel totally freaked out, you're about to get all the answers. First, let's break down what exactly a specific phobia is. It's not just a little fear, it's a strong, sometimes overwhelming fear that can actually control a person's life. And what's fascinating is that people with specific phobias often know that their fear is irrational, but it still feels impossible to change. For millions of people, just seeing their phobia, like a spider or elevator, is enough to cause heart-pounding terror. This intense fear leads to avoid anything even remotely related to that phobia, which can completely take over parts of their life. Imagine avoiding vacations because you're terrified of planes, or skipping hikes with friends because you're afraid of heights. Phobias can sneak in and limit so much. So why do phobias even start? While phobias aren't just made up, many stems from our brain learning to fear through different ways. Let's start with classical conditioning. Imagine this. You're a kid and you have been bitten by a dog. Your brain learns that dog equates danger. Even if you never see that dog again, just seeing any dog can make your body react with full-blown fear. And once that fear is in place, it can actually grow. So you might go from fearing dogs, big dogs, to fearing all kinds of dogs. This is a process called generalization. Another way we develop phobias is through vicarious conditioning. You don't even have to experience something scary yourself to fear it. Watching someone else scream and panic around, let's say a spider, can actually teach your brain to fear spiders too. Even stories and movies can create these fears in our mind. Ever watched a horror movie and then felt like something was in your room? Same idea here. Life experiences also play a huge role. If you've ever had a safe encounter with something like dogs or height, your brain is less likely to develop a phobia. But if you've had a negative or scary experience, your brain learns to stay away from anything related to that. And here's a wild fact. We are genetically wired to fear some things more than others. For example, studies shows that it is much easier for us to fear snakes or spiders than something harmless like flowers. Once we have a phobia, our thoughts keep it alive. People with phobias often become hyper alert, constantly scanning for their feared object or situation. This is called vigilance and actually keeps our brain on the edge. And on top of that, people with phobia tend to overestimate the changes of something bad happening. A person with a fear of elevators, for example, might assume there's a high chance of getting stuck, even though elevators are generally safe. Now let's talk about the good news, the treatment. The most effective treatment for specific phobia is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and the star of CBT for phobias is exposure therapy. Imagine this as an ultimate face your fear strategy, but done gradually and safely. So how does that work? Exposure therapy is about confronting the fear one step at a time. For example, if someone has the fear of snakes, I might start by just looking at the photo of the snake. Later, I might visit a zoo and then watch a snake from a distance. Over time, these small steps build up until your fear response weakens, and then you can even touch a snake. Each exposure reduces the fear response and it helps the brain unlearn that phobia. Depending on the phobia, exposure might involve some creative tools. For example, people with fear of flying, therapists might use a flight stimulator, One for someone terrified of spider, a pet store could be a practice ground. Virtual reality is also becoming popular for certain phobias, like heights or flying, allowing people to experience the fear without the actual danger. CBT for phobia often comes in phases. First, I help clients understand the nature of their phobia, including the anxiety cycle and the safety behavior. Then, we'll get into exposure therapy and sometimes add cognitive interventions if needed. The final step is relapse prevention to make sure that the fear doesn't creep back in. And here's an exciting twist. Overcoming a phobia isn't just about facing the fear, it's about not avoiding it. Avoidance actually keeps phobia strong because each time you avoid the fear, your brain thinks it's staying safe, which reinforces that cycle. So part of treatment involves helping clients catch themselves if they start avoiding again and reminding them to stick to the new habit. Once the main phase of treatment are done, it's all about ensuring that the new beliefs replace the old fearful ones. Some people may still have lingering thoughts about fear, so here's what we might work on: cognitive dissonance. These are unrealistic beliefs about the likelihood of danger. And if avoidance sneaks back in, a quiet booster session might keep things on track. So if you or someone you know is dealing with specific phobia, remember that treatment works. Phobias are among the most treatable mental health issues, and overcoming them doesn't just improve the quality of your life, it gives back your freedom. Facing your fear might sound intimidating, but with the right support and strategies, it is totally possible. Thank you for tuning in, and if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more mental health insights, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.